right, folks, let's talk about frogs. They're small, they're slimy, and they've been around since the dinosaurs. Talk about longevity. These little amphibians are found everywhere except Antarctica, which honestly makes sense. I wouldn't want to hop around in minus 50-degree weather either. Now, before we dive into the ridiculousness that is frog life, let's take a second to appreciate World Frog Day, celebrated every year on March 20th. This day was created to bring attention to the fact that frogs are in trouble. Like, real trouble. About 1/3 of all frog species are at risk of extinction due to habitat destruction, climate change, and a nasty fungus that's been wiping them out. So while we laugh at their weird little faces, let's also remember that they could use our help. Let's dive in. Frogs belong to the order Anura, which means without a tail. Unlike their salamander cousins still dragging tails around, adult frogs evolved to ditch them in favor of strong hopping legs. There are over 7,000 known species of frogs, and they come in an astonishing variety of shapes, sizes, and colors. Some are neon-colored with toxic skin, while others blend in perfectly with their surroundings, like little amphibian ninjas. Frogs are some of the most diverse and adaptable creatures on the planet. As amphibians, frogs blur the line between land and water. Unlike reptiles, they lack scales and instead have smooth, often slimy skin that helps them breathe and stay hydrated. Think of them as nature's ultimate amphibious acrobats, starting life as fish-like tadpoles before transforming into land-hopping, bug-eating machines. Most frogs feast on insects, spiders, worms, and slugs, but larger species take it up a notch. Some even eat mice, birds, and small reptiles. Frogs have a unique advantage when it comes to catching food. Their tongues are super stretchy and coated in sticky mucus and are attached at the front of their mouths, allowing them to launch their tongues at lightning speed and trap their prey. Now get ready to jump into some of the most fascinating and bizarre facts about frogs. Did you know some species can jump 20 times their own body length? If humans could do that, we'd be dunking basketballs from across the street. Meanwhile, I've been known to trip over my own feet on my way to the fridge. Frogs also don't drink water like we do. Instead, they absorb it through their skin. Imagine just standing in a puddle and hydrating. Pretty convenient, but also a little risky. Without fur or scales for protection, frogs absorb everything in their environment straight through their skin, which unfortunately includes pollution, toxins, and other harmful substances. But their skin also plays a role in helping them survive the cold. That's right. Some frogs endure freezing temperatures by literally turning into frogsicles, also known as the zombie phenomenon. They stop breathing, their hearts stop beating, and ice forms in their bodies. Yet when spring arrives, they thaw out and hop away as if nothing happened. Another fun fact, frogs can produce giant poops, sometimes bigger than their own bodies. Some tree frogs store waste for a long time before finally releasing a massive surprise. But with their big appetites and large stomachs, it's no wonder their poop is unexpectedly huge. Frog skin is actually fascinatingly weird. Like snakes, frogs shed their skin, but instead of leaving it behind, many eat it to recycle nutrients. It's nature's way of keeping things efficient, like an amphibian protein boost. Now, frogs may look small and squishy, but they have some truly bizarre ways of defending themselves. Need a quick escape? Try peeing on your enemies. Yep, frogs pee on predators. If you've ever picked up a frog and suddenly felt something warm trickle onto your hand, congrats. You've been personally introduced to this tactic. Many frogs will also secrete powerful toxins from their skin to deter predators. The golden poison dart frog is the most extreme example. Its skin is coated in enough poison to take down 10 grown men with just a touch. Some frogs take things up a notch by breaking their own bones to force sharp claws through their skin. Talk about extreme survival tactics. Others fake their own death by going completely still, hoping a predator loses interest. And then there are the frog screamers, ready to deliver a loud amphibian jump scare to unsuspecting predators. Still more, other species are, well, straight up savage. When resources are scarce, some tadpoles are even known to eat their own siblings just to get ahead in life. It's a frog-eat-frog world out there, am I right? But beyond their quirky traits, why do frogs matter? Well, frogs are pretty much environmental superheroes. They help keep insect populations in check. Because trust me, without them, we'd be swimming in a sea of mosquitoes. They're also signs of a healthy ecosystem. If the frogs start disappearing, then something is seriously wrong. But, like I mentioned earlier, frogs are in trouble. Clearing forests for farming, logging, and development destroys frog habitats, leaving them with fewer places to breed, find food, and hide from predators. Frogs' permeable skin is both a blessing and a curse. It lets them breathe and absorb water, but also makes them vulnerable to toxins, pesticides, and pollution. Pesticides from farms can wash into waterways, causing deformities, reproductive issues, or even mass die-offs. In some areas, scientists have found frogs with extra limbs, missing eyes, or other strange mutations linked to pollution exposure. Climate change also threatens frogs by drying up breeding pools, disrupting breeding cycles, and forcing some species to migrate. While a few adapt, many struggle, leading to population declines. One of the biggest threats frogs face is chytrid fungus, a deadly disease responsible for devastating frog populations worldwide. But the good news? Conservation efforts are working. Scientists and conservationists are breeding endangered frogs in captivity, restoring habitats, and even trying to find cures for frog diseases. So, in honor of World Frog Day, take a moment to appreciate these little hoppers. Maybe even visit a wildlife center, donate to a conservation group, or just take a second to marvel at how truly weird and wonderful frogs are. And if you ever hear a loud croaking outside your window at night, don't be annoyed. Just remember, it's probably a tiny amphibian yelling at the moon, living its best life. Thanks for watching.